Hi Stampers, I'm Nancy Novak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We'll get ready to celebrate turning 65 with our latest Milestone Birthday Card. In this video, I'll show you how to create a double point fun fold card using the beautiful Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper and the coordinating dies. Plus, I'll show you how to incorporate the stunning floral designs onto your card, and we're going to use the Perennial postage die as our focal point. We're going to add a personal touch with some die cut numbers using Stampin' Up's alphabet dies. And then we're going to layer them on a double punched oval. So let's start this fun and creative crafting session now and make someone's milestone birthday extra special. If you missed Monday's video, go on back and check it out. And remember, on my blog, I have really big pictures of all my projects. So it's nice to go back there and you can really see the detail up close. Plus, that's where you're going to find my project sheets. Okay, let's get started. We're going to have a base of Gorgeous Grape that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. I have a basic white piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. I have 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. They are 4 by 3. Then I have a scrap that we're going to cut out using the postage die. Then I have some other scraps, white for our sentiment, and for our flowers and stems, I have Pretty Peacock, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and I cut out some of the flowers using the die from the die set, and I also cut out a little sprig. So there's those pieces. That's already done. And next I'm going to cut out our Perennial postage die. That again is some of that Designer Series paper. Very pretty. So I'll cut that out real quick. And I'm going to layer that on a piece of Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to glue those pieces together. So I'll bring in our Designer Series paper. This is where we're going to create the double point of our fun fold. So these are 4 by 3. And if they have a direction to them, you just cut them out the same way. So as you can see, the flowers are going up and down. I'm going to have a point up on the top of my card and a point at the bottom. And the easiest way to remember that is the one that goes at the top, we're going to score at the top of this piece, 1 inch. And the piece that goes at the bottom, we're going to score at the bottom at 1 inch. So let me bring in my scoreboard. Okay, so this will be my top piece right across the top. So I'm going to put this at 1 inch and score. This is my bottom piece. I want to score at the bottom 1 inch. Now I'm just going to crease on those fold lines, on the score lines. Okay, so that one's going at the top, that one's going at the bottom. Now we're going to create the points. It's very easy. It's just folding. Really easy to do. So we're going to take, this is the bottom one. There's our score line. We're just going to take the corner and bring it up to the middle and line it up against that score line. Again, just bring it up to the center, up to the score line. Okay, then we'll create our other points. So again, I'm just folding the edge right up to the score line on both sides. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue these down, the little points that we made. I'm going to glue those down so they stay put. Okay, so I'm going to bring our white piece in. And these are going to fit right behind the white piece, just like that. So I'm going to bring some tear and tape in and put tear and tape on that straight 1 inch area. So before I actually adhere these, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on this inside piece. So that's basically going to be our layout, just like that. And then this piece is going to go here. So I want to stamp behind this piece before I put everything together. And I'm going to use the sentiments that I found in the translucent florals because they're nice and small and they'll fit behind here. I'm going to stamp happy birthday and wishing you all the happiness in the world. And I think I'm going to stamp that in Pretty Peacock. So I'm just going to kind of put this here for a second. Kind of gauge where I want this to be. So again, this is going to be like this. This is going to be like this. Just going to move it over a little bit. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and adhere our little points to our card. And all I'm going to do is just line that fold right up to the top of the card. Just like that. And then adhere the back. I have to trim it just a tiny bit right there. And the same thing for the bottom. I'm just going to turn this over. Just putting the card base right into the fold. Right, that score line. And this one I got to trim just a tiny bit too. Okay, now this piece is going to go right here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape at the top point only. So I'm kind of looking at it top to bottom, make sure it's nice and even, and I'll take that top piece of tape off. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Just like that. Okay, in a couple minutes we're going to add our little pretty stems and floral images onto the front. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring in my double oval punch, and I'm going to punch a scallop in Highland Heather. And then I'm going to bring in our strip of white and punch out another oval. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those two together. And then there are my numbers that we're celebrating, 65. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those and put them right on our oval. So remember, when I have small pieces like that, I like to blot the extra glue off on my silicone mat. That way it doesn't squish out all over. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of our 65 ovals. And I'm going to position them on the front of the card right at the bottom, just so a little bit of it overhangs our little Postage Perennial rectangle there. So it just fits, just like that. It's going to kind of hold it closed. Okay, so now let's decorate the front of our card with some pretty little stems and foliage from that painted Perennial die set. So I'll bring my silicone mat in here, because these are little tiny pieces. So I'm going to lay these green pieces, or the Pretty Peacock pieces, down first. And you know, I cut an extra one out in the Orchid Oasis, and I think I'm going to do that too, to add a little bit more more color to it. So I'm just going to glue these 3 down. Okay, now I'm thinking about putting a butterfly up here at the top. I think that'd be pretty. Could put it right in the middle. And I think I'm going to color him in Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to bring in my little blending brush. See how he turned out? Isn't that pretty? I kind of want it a little bit darker in the middle, but just slightly. I think I'm going to go a little bit darker with him. With her. It's a her. I'm going to see what my Wink of Stella looks like covering her too. It works. It's very, very pretty. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here and there on her wings. Bring my silicone mat back in. I think I'm going to add just a couple little gemstones up here. Okay, the main point, we got to put this on the base of our card. So we're just going to glue the back of this. I also had a little bow, but I think that's too much. You know what? The bow is just a little bit too big, so I'm going to make this bow tiny. And I'm going to add a couple more gems to the sentiment down here. Okay, so let's look at our pretty card. Isn't that fun? Something different. I haven't made this before. I really like it. So a double point fun fold. So don't forget, go over to my blog because you'll have a nice big picture of this, and you'll have a project sheet with all the sizes and supplies and colors and shopping links, everything you need to know to make this. And leave me some comments. I'm curious to know what you think about today's card. And we'll have another milestone card coming up this Friday, so that'll make 3 for the whole week. So make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my updates. And I will see you next time. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.